if you know anything about the Bach flowers, or if you've used them, then you remember exactly when you started to use them, because they have such a powerful effect. And I was just the same. A long time ago, as in when my darling daughter was 7. She was ill, and I mean she was ill. I won't go into the gnaws about how we went from one medical practitioner to another. She was 7 and she weighed 35 pounds because she coughed until she vomited. And by chance, I said to my mother, there has to be another way. 4 drugs every 4 hours is not making her better. There has to be another way. And so I took her to a homeopath, and I had no idea what a homeopath was. And he gave her a Bach Flower Remedy, and I had no idea what that was either. So I did as I was told and gave all the appropriate things. The difference that Bach Flower Remedy made to that child in 3 days astounded me. It knocked my socks off, and I was hooked, truly hooked. And this is Edward Bach. Now, the first thing you'll notice is his name's Bach, not Bach. He was born in Moseley, which is south of Birmingham, and his father owned a brass foundry. He was a sickly child, and he always wanted to be a doctor. And although he wanted to be a doctor, his main drive was to find the cause of disease. So this is no, as somebody once said, the phrase, this is no small beer, I'm just starting out to find the cause of disease. So in his doctoring, he went to work when he first left university. He went to London and he worked in one of the major hospitals in A&E, literally with his hands in the blood and guts of humanity. He then moved on and he became a bacteriologist because he believed that everything started in the stomach, which is not far wrong. Then he found the work of Samuel Hahnemann and was smitten with Samuel Hahnemann's work. But there were things that he didn't like about it, because one of which is it's not an easy, simple method of healing. It's exceedingly powerful, but it's not a simple method of healing, and that's what he wanted. He had stomach cancer, and he was given 3 months to live. And he was determined to find the cause of disease. So he started to study and to search in all sorts of places. And he became observant of his patients. And he found that no matter what went on in your life, you are always going to react one way, no matter what happens in life. So he he gave up his Harley Street practice, and he started off to walk around looking at nature for a simple method of healing. The place he ended up is in Oxfordshire, and that's where he lives, at Mount Vernon, and that is where the Bach Centre still lives. That's where they are. Small house there. In the garden there are 19 of the flowers that he used. Now, Bach's philosophy in life. He came to the conclusion, or he knew, because he was at the time he was a very religious man, and he belonged to something that he refers to as the Brotherhood. I've done some research, and I think it was possibly the White Brotherhood, which still operates out of somewhere in Hampshire. He believed that man has a soul, which is, quote, the real self. And the soul and the real self is expressed through the personality, the good bits, that is. And this happens to you spontaneously. This is when you do something, a great kindness, but it's spontaneous. This is the real you that's coming through. Our personalities, from experience, develop beliefs that disconnect us from our real self. Disease begins in the emotions. And the reason they begin in the emotions is because the personality has cut itself off from the real self. And that the emotions are the language of the soul. So in a nutshell, those are the philosophies of Edward Bach. And as that is how I think, it's very natural that I'm drawn to his type of healing and his philosophy. There are 3 major companies that make these remedies. You've got something in your pack. There is Nelson's Batch. Now, the family Nelsons also make homeopathic remedies, and they were family friends of Edward Batch. So when it was necessary for help with the marketing, not the marketing, the bottling of the remedies, it was natural that Batch went to Nelson's. So there's Nelson's Batch. Then there's Ainsworth. They are in London and they make their remedies too. And then there is Healing Herbs, the Healing Herbs of Edward Batch, which is a company owned by a man called Julian Barnard. Julian Barnard lives and breathes Edward Batch's philosophy. I've actually worked at his factory. It's amazing there. It's very close to Wales. It's far from Wales, in Herefordshire. So all 3 of these companies make Bach Flower Remedies. Any remedy that's made, any substance that uses the process that Edward Bach uses is now classed as a Bach Flower Essence, or a Bach Essence, because of the process. There was a long legal battle between Julian Barnard and Nelson's Batch, and the High Court said anything that is made by this process is now a Bach Essence, because it's synonymous with. Right. I use the Healing Herbs remedies because I like them. I like the intention, but I need to put this disclaimer in. And although you're working from a guide, a Bach Flower guide by Julian Barnard, who is the owner of Healing Herbs, the majority of the photographs I've used have been taken by Julian Barnard. He is also a botanist. The Healing Herbs does not sponsor or support my teachings in any way whatsoever. But he was very happy for me to use the book and also to use his photographs. So how are they made? How are these essences made? The flower is the highest stage of the evolution of the plant. It can't get any higher. It's gone through the whole process. This is self-realization of the plant, is the flower. The flowers are picked mostly towards dawn, or Bach started to pick them at dawn and get the dew off the flowers themselves. But now they're picked, they're put in a bowl of water, and they're sat on the ground in the sunshine for 3 to 4 hours, while the heat transfers the energy of the flower into the water. Now, the water has memory. So what is happening during that heat process, because heat does lots of things, fire does lots of things. It destroys, but it also forges something new. So it transforms the energy from the flower into the water, and now the water carries that vibration. And that's how they're made. They are vibrational essences. They have no effect whatsoever on the physical body. They are only affecting on the emotional body, which after all is where disease begins. Now, this is, I'm going to sound like an evangelist. This is the beloved Bach book. This is the book I got in 1987. I was living in Zimbabwe at the time. I was over to visit my mother, who had only recently come to live in England, and I didn't know anything about them. I only couldn't get them in Zimbabwe because they didn't get that far. And so I had no idea. And I walked into a well-known bookshop on the high street, and I said, this is what I want. And they said, don't know that we've got any. If it's anywhere, it's over there. And there was one book, and that was it. The book by Mathilde Scheffer. And that is where I learned a lot about what they're about, the remedies. And of course, I learned it from experience as well. So how do they work? I've taken this from Mathilde Scheffer's book. And it's it says, it's to do, the example is from Larch, and they've put the soul and the personality, and the soul says, I want to experience this, and the personality says, I can't do that. I haven't got the courage, I can't do it, and even if I did do it, somebody can do it better than me, and I can't do it, and nothing will come of it. So what happens is, because Larch has the same vibrational frequency of energy as a part of the human soul, it actually just breaks through that barrier, that belief that's been put there by the personality. And therefore it reestablishes harmony between the soul and the personality. Again, from Mathilde Scheffer's book, I used this when I spoke to the Welland therapists about living your potential with Bach Flowers. This is what you're born looking like. This first one, all nice and shiny and glowing. Then, as we grow in life, just like a tree on the cliff that's actually formed by the wind, and the rocks, so not a lot of nutrition, and the wind blows it one way or another. This is what happens to us in life. We get stunted by our beliefs and things like that, and also by society. But with learning who you are, with the help of some vibrational healing, i.e. Bach Flowers, you are able to live your full potential, and then you grow up following the path of the soul. Now, a long time ago, I found out, I always knew that I could make life work, always. I just didn't know how I did it, so there was no format for me to follow. And in 1987, 3 or 4 of the spiritual teachers and spiritual readings that I used to follow came up with all the same thing from different places, that you create your own reality. So in early 1990, I started to consciously create what I want in life. The first thing I created consciously was brilliant. It was so easy, so simple. Yes, I can do this. And everything after that was a complete disaster. So I sat down and my logic said to me, if you create your own reality, then surely the obvious thing is to find out as much as possible as you can on how it works. So I spent a long time doing that. So here we have the law of attraction. I never came across this phrase until 2007 when I read that little book, The Secret. Never heard of it called the law of attraction before then. But I'd been happily creating my life for for 15 odd years by then. Right, the law of attraction is a process of life. It's how life works. It's been sold as a manifesting tool, but it's not a manifesting tool. We live in a vibrational universe. We are vibrational beings. And therefore, when we're sick, you need a vibrational remedy, a vibrational method to make you well. Because the vibration goes down into your body. By the time you get round to healing the body, it's too late. It's like driving, looking in the rearview mirror only. So if you can catch the emotion that you're feeling quick enough and adjust it while it's still in the emotional stage, then you are going to avoid the physical expression of the disease. So because of the law of attraction, and basically it's exactly the same thing as what I'm talking about, it's all involved. So in a nutshell, we create our lives by repeated thoughts with intense emotions. If you don't repeat your thoughts, it means that you don't feel intensely about it. It's the intense emotions that are creating your life. Our repeated thoughts and intense emotions build a momentum. And so our thoughts actually become things. And Einstein found out that energy becomes things. We then with the momentum of the repeated thought and intense emotions, we actually experience what we have been thinking, because it comes into our reality in a physical form. And then we say, see, I knew it was true. And that now becomes a belief. And we have lots of negative and positive beliefs. But the negative beliefs, because of the intense emotions, are mostly what create our lives. And we all have negative default programs that are formed and actually stay in the subconscious mind. So what creates our reality? Our beliefs from our intense emotions. Emotions are the language of the soul. Emotions are our creative power, and we are always, always creating more of what we're feeling. And there is nothing is more important than feeling good. Nothing. And the Bach Flower Essences is an powerful answer to feeling good. Now you can use what you learned today for any way you like. You can use it as just a method of feeling good. You can use it to help you find your default programs, your negative beliefs. You can use it as a method of self-growth and self-knowledge, which I started out just using it as I just didn't want to be so irritable and cross with the children all the time. And that's how I started out. But as time went by, it became my path to self-knowledge. I have found out who I am through using these remedies. And if you're aware of the law of attraction and you want to create something special, you can monitor your emotions, keep your feelings high, and the universe will respond. So you can use them for whatever reason you want. So when and why would we even think about taking an essence? When you've got uncomfortable feelings, particularly if these are intense and recurrent feelings. So if you're angry all the time, if a black cloud descends upon you, or if you're filled with melancholy, and it seems to be the prominent thing, then take them in. The Bach Flower Essences are a self-help therapy. You can use them purely to help you feel better. You can use them if you have with awareness of emotions, if you want to create something special. It's an unusual path to self-knowledge for personal growth. And today, what I'm hoping you're going to try to do is maybe identify one negative default program of your belief system. In this quick video, you'll discover how you can get the most out of this very powerful and life-changing information. There are 12 modules that lead you easily through everything you need to know step by step. This course will help you gain the clarity you need to be able to calm your troubled emotions whenever you're feeling wobbly, help you stay positive and keep you moving towards your life goals. On the right-hand side, you'll see a list of modules giving you everything you need from the basic introduction down to a detailed review of all the remedies in the 7 major remedy groups. You will also get a bonus of identifying negative belief patterns so you can get started healing and changing your thoughts and feelings straight away. Each module is set out in a simple to navigate format with a high quality video of about 20 to 25 minutes long. You'll have instant access to over 4 hours of detailed training. The videos are streamed, so it's really quick and easy to find out what you're looking for when rewatching the videos. At the top, you can track your progress with this nifty little progress bar. And you can add modules to your favourite list using this cute little heart. So after login, you can instantly jump to your favourite modules. Each module comes with several really valuable resources to supplement your learning. You'll get a module guide summarising the module, and a full transcript of the video and a copy of the presentation slide pack. So if you're like me and you prefer to read, you can make detailed notes at your own pace. You will also get a downloadable high-quality audio so that you can listen and learn whilst you're on the move, making it easy to fit your studies into even the most hectic of schedules. Not only that, but for key modules, you'll also get a case study report and a module quiz to really cement your learning. The quizzes are also included in the audio format, so you can listen on the go. Lastly, if you need any help with the course, you'll be able to contact me directly via this support email, and I answer all emails personally. So with this easy-to-digest course, you'll zip through the training and you'll soon be able to effortlessly identify your own emotions and those of your nearest and dearest too, so you can help yourself and you can help others too. So secure your access now by clicking the button below. I know you'll enjoy the course. It's going to open your eyes to a wonderful and simple way of healing. The Bach Flower Remedies help you feel positive and happy and contented, and will help boost your self-confidence. I know you'll love them and that they'll make a huge difference in your life. So go ahead and secure your lifetime access to this powerful course today.